All right, well, welcome everyone. We'd like to welcome you to our Master of Public Administration information session. We are going to cover a lot of content and ultimately hope this will help you to determine if our program is a good fit for you. My name is Rashonda Butler. I am one of the student advocates here for the online division. If you should decide to apply and are accepted to the program, I will work with you very closely through your first year of class. So just a few housekeeping items. This session should last about 45 minutes. There will be a recording available after the session. So if you have to leave early, don't worry, we will get you a copy of it. We will have an enrollment advisor answering questions. So if you have any questions, please make sure that you submit them through the questions and answer feature at the bottom of the screen. And if you would like to speak with an enrollment advisor, that number is 1-800-411-2290. So with regards to the program at a glance, there is going to be 12 courses throughout your curriculum. It'll take you approximately 2 years to complete. And how you will take it is you will have, each course will be 7 weeks per course. So tonight we have two panelists. We have Dr. Stephanie Thomas, and we also have Roxana Lemos. I'm going to have them to go ahead and introduce themselves to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Thomas?
Yes, good
Hi.
evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Dr. Stephanie Thomas. I am happy to be on this panel and answer any questions if we have that opportunity, and also share my experience with the UOnline, which was a very productive, and I'm so happy I went through the program. So I look forward to sharing my experiences.
Thank you. Glad to have you. Roxana?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Very happy to be here as well. I graduated from the UOnline program last year, so I'm still kind of fresh off the plate, but very excited to share as much as I can with my experiences and how really post graduation is just helped me flourish in many ways.
Perfect. Thanks. Glad to have you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with some questions that we have. Dr. Thomas, can you tell us a bit about your role within the University of Miami and how you interact with online Master of Public Administration students?
Okay, so thank you for the question. I graduated back in 2018, so I was in the first cohort. Uh, I was not planning on attending University of Miami. It was something that was always a lifelong dream of mine. So when I did a little research on possibly getting my public administration degree, I decided to find something online, which I found UOnline, and I thought it was a great opportunity. So, and that's why I pursued my 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 student life and the online program. And I thought it was very fitting at the time because of my schedule at work and, raising a family at the time. So it was just perfect timing. And I took the chance and applied, and I was accepted. And I was so happy I accepted. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
So Roxana, this question is going to be for you. What attracted you to the online MPA program at the University of Miami? And then what would you say set the University of Miami aside from any other programs that you may have been considering?
Yeah, well, first, what really interested me, kind of like the same with Dr. Thomas, was the fact that um, everyone knows UM, right? It's a well-renowned school. It's not only known for its sports, but it's known for its academics, right? And since I was 17, I always wanted to attend this school. But what attracted me to this was the flexibility of it. Because at the time, I worked at the sheriff's office on an on-call position. So working all these different crazy hours. So working, like going to finding a course, going back to school in the afternoon was not ideal for me. So this program allowed that flexibility. And what I come to find out as I was progressing within the courses was that people laugh all the time, but it really makes you forget that you are in whatever jurisdiction that you're in, because I was in Pasco County at the time. And the only way I would remember I was not in Miami is when I would step outside my front door and be like, oh, hold on, not in Miami. But the flexibility is what really called for me to do it. And not only flexibility with everything, but how gracious the professors were, and even the admission process, how seamless they made it, and not treating it as if I was just a number. They actually wanted to, when I submitted like my essay, they sent it back and said, hey, just make some revisions here. And that to me set the tone for the rest of the program for me.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Dr. Thomas, how would you say the curriculum is designed to help students succeed in real world scenarios? And then what are some of the key skills and learnings that this program focuses on?
Okay, thank you. So the curriculum is very, you can work through the curriculum. The professors make it very, simple, and it's attainable during the time that you're in the courses for 7 weeks. So prior to the class beginning, they do provide you with the curriculum prior so that you can get familiarized with what the program is about, what the topics are going to be, what materials you're going to need within the 7 week course. And not to overwhelm everybody, but what I did, I strategized everything, right? So I looked at my curriculum the week before. Every other day, I would take a little piece and kind of absorb the information. So by the time I needed to do my work assignment the week prior, I would have an idea of how to construct my Blackboard information, whatever project is due with the team, I would already know what I would be, doing at that time. So they give you enough time to get familiarized with the curriculum. The tools that I use, of course, my laptop and all the resources that UM provide as far as the library is there for you at any time at the tip of your fingers. And that really helped me with all my projects and whatever capstones or paper reports that I needed to turn into my professors at the time. So, and of course, the professors are accessible whenever you need them. They make them themselves available online or whatever means that they have available to the students technology wise. So it's definitely doable and feasible.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Roxana, how did you know this was the right time for you to pursue a graduate degree? And now that you have the MPA, what will it do for your career trajectory?
I always say, I think that the thought of going back to school and you're like, okay, I want to go get my master's in public administration. I think that thought itself, I always say, is what makes you, okay, it's the seed that's planted to make you go, all right, I'm ready to do this, right? And for me, but for me, at the time, again, I was working at the sheriff's office, and seeing like my brothers and sisters, right? Seeing how everyone was pursuing their master's degree. And I said, okay, well, I want to excel in my career. And I've been in the field of advocacy for about 8 years. And it has done such a wonderful thing in my career. I'm humbly very blessed, because all your professors that you meet, and I'm glad that I took the chance of, you know what, I took a chance on me, betted on me, invested in me to do this with the support of my friends and my family. I couldn't do it without them. And that has helped so much, because you really get to expand your mind on different sectors, the private sector, the public sector, things that I would have never thought of before if it wasn't that. I always say there's only so much you can learn sometimes in the field. And these professors, because of their expertise and their experience, and it's just amazing to see how they're really kind of able to tap in and just kind of, no matter what anyone's backgrounds are, they've created such a safe space where they want you to spew everything, to tell me your thoughts, tell me your ideas. And because of my professors, that they encouraged me to take on more roles and say, okay, no, like, you can do more. So, it became where I saw myself forever in one sector and as a victim advocate in law enforcement. Well, let's move to the nonprofit, right? Let's see how that is. Let's expand there. And then now, being with the Office of the Attorney General, it's seeing how everything just kind of comes together, and it's crazy how everything mirrors to everything I've learned here in the 2 years to that. So yeah, I hope, yeah, so it's good.
Perfect. All right, so this one is for you, Dr. Thomas. How does earning a Master of Public Administration set our students apart in the current job market? And what does this degree mean to future employers?
Oh, very important question. So
Mhm.
it sets us apart because now with the dynamics of government, a lot of the seasoned employees and the ones that have been there 30, 40 years, 50 years sometimes, they're actually retiring. So this is a great opportunity for
Mhm.
students to consider this program so that you can be prepared, academically going into the government sector. And sky's the limit when you can catapult from one department to another department. And I'll give you an example. So I've been with the city of North Miami for 22 years. I started, with the mayor and council's office. I worked for the mayor and for commissioners for about 13 years before I actually decided, okay, it's time for me to go into another role. And by that time, I already had my master's degree, not with but while I did go into the deputy city clerk position, I did obtain my master's degree with which helped me understand as a manager what my role is as a deputy city clerk and managing an operation that I did daily and then supervise staff. I had a staff of 6, which I do currently as well. So with that in mind, with all these degrees and all my knowledge and all the practical knowledge and book knowledge, I was able to um, uh, receive, a nice raise in my
Mhm.
in my role, which is always a blessing. And I continue to mentor others and within the organization because that's also an important aspect in my life to help others come along and understand what the importance is of public administration because it's something that we need in our government system, people that have the knowledge and the background so that you can bring along others to help them out as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Roxana, our faculty have real-world experience in the public sector and can give practical advice during classroom instruction and office hours. Can you describe how this impacts the curriculum and why this is important? This is an important component of the program?
Absolutely. And I gotta say, Stephanie, that was just, I'm still moved to what you just said. So beautiful. Um, absolutely. The professors here, man, they are just a wonderful resource, a wealth of information.
Mhm.
And again, for me, what helped was just the way that they're able to be available for their students, which is nice, and not just one, okay, well, all right, you're just a student. It's not like that. They understand that we are working full time, that we have our families, that we have a lot of things going on, and the contrary, all they love is the communication, where if something happens, they're like, hey, this is what's going on, and they're always willing to work with you. And for me, those one-on-ones I would have my professors would always help because they would get to know you as a student. And at that point, if there's any opportunity that would come up, like, oh, I've thought of you, and they'll send you like a job, or they send you whatever the case might be, because especially when, again, they're always thinking about their students at all times. I mean, even when I did go to campus and I saw like their desk, I mean, they have stacks of papers everywhere and things like that. But again, it's just all about their students. But professors, again, they always want their students to be the best, because that is what strives for. And you feel it. I mean, you feel it. But again, it's 7 weeks, and I think anyone could see like, oh, snap, 7 weeks, that's overwhelming. Like, how the heck am I gonna do this? But again, like what Stephanie said, I mean, you plan it out, but if you see something ahead of time that that, okay, this is gonna be a problem, you can talk to your professor about it, because they're so open with it. And again, there's different ways. They'll put their email, they'll put their phone number, they'll set up appointments. There's always different means of doing it. Again, even when I wanted to meet them in person, I mean, they made the time. So
Mhm.
it's just a wealth of information. So they're absolutely wonderful. So
Yes, I have to agree with you, Roxana. Yeah, they're very accessible, and they make sure that they respond and give you
Mhm.
constructive criticism on your papers, and um, I definitely concur.
and they watch out for you, because the more you communicate with them, and even if like, because I had one professor in particular, when she noticed, because I was going through something at the time, and she noticed, because again, I think sometimes we forget, over professors, but she noticed that my pattern of submissions, like submitting assignments or showing up for meetings or whatever the case might be, kind of dipped. And the fact that she reached out and was like, hey, is everything okay? Because especially when sometimes, depending on the hat that you wear, you can be accustomed to, I can do this on my own. I don't need anyone to help me. I don't want to worry anybody. But the fact that, again, they're not only thinking about helping you physically with what's going on with schoolwork, but mentally and emotionally making sure that you are there. So it's just been phenomenal.
Yes, it has been.
So, and this could be, question can go for either of you, or both of you. For a busy professional, what would you say are the advantages of completing this online program?
Well, there's a lot of advantages, right? It's how you perceive it, right? And how you work the degree. So for instance, with my career, um, I at the time was not looking to do a second master's degree, but I thought it would be a great opportunity to obtain a degree from UM, because it is a prestigious school and everyone just loves UM, right? I was actually looking for a doctorate program, but I'm glad I did not go in that path until after I was done with my master's at UM, because UM actually prepared me for my doctorate degree. My writing skills improved. My uh, my critical thinking skills, I mean, was off the chain. I can actually look at a situation and um, look at it and just say, okay, this is how I'm going to solve this problem. And it has helped me throughout the course of my career, in my management position here, and also while I was doing my doctorate degree. So yes, I believe this has been a great advantage for me, and I'm so happy I went with it and decided to come to UM.
Yeah, same. I mean, it helped in all different ways. For me, it really helped my confidence, to be
Mhm.
honest. It's interesting how I grew up those 2 years, really. And for me, I think that because I knew I had the support, again, it might have been all online, but the fact that we do interact with others within the classroom, right? Having those discussion boards, having these one-on-ones with our professors, and even the school just being always so welcoming. I never felt that it was just, okay, I'm just doing it online. No one cares about me, feeling isolated in a way from the rest of the students who are doing it in person. I never once felt that way. And and for me, I mean, I've moved in the past, right? Being from Orlando, going to Tampa, I've moved. But taking the leap, to go to Miami, we're just being super away from my family and my friends for the job, but knowing that I was gonna be okay, other than that, because I had the support of my loved ones around me, but I knew that I was gonna be okay because my home was right around the corner, which was UM.
Mhm.
And again, I've been here, and they've proved it time and time again that they've just, even after you graduate, they just don't leave you. They don't just, okay, you graduate, okay, bye. It's never been about that. But this online, um this online experience is just like Stephanie said, there's so many great benefits to it. But of course, just like everything in life, right? There's a lot of things could be beneficial. It's the matter of how are you going to take it and run with it. And UN prepares you to do just that, to the point where, my professor was like, "Oh, you can be the commencement speaker." And never in a million years, I would have thought I would have had the confidence to do that. But again, if it wasn't for these professors, it's just been amazing.
Yes, has been.
How would you say you built habits and practices that kept you on track and accountable for your assignments?
Hmm. Well, like I said at the beginning, I always took the time a week before the class to look at the curriculum, kind of familiarize myself with the online portal, making sure that I understood what was expected of me. And if I had any questions, reached out to my lifeline, right? My professors. So any questions I had, they were there to answer them. And the support of the students also, I mean, my classmates, when you read through the Blackboard and you're reading their experiences or their perspective, it brings you to a different level of thinking, right? Because we're not living in a bubble, but we have people, students that are like in the military that's in another country or all parts of the world that are experiencing different things that kind of help you put your life into perspective and also kind of focus on things that you need to when it comes to the class and preparing for it. So you just have to find, what works for you because what works for me probably doesn't work for everybody else. And I found that being a week ahead of my assignment really, really, really helped me so that I can kind of understand what is expected of me coming up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Stephanie said everything beautifully in a nutshell. She said everything beautifully in a nutshell. I mean, same. The fact that you make friends as you go. You might not think you will, but you end up meeting at least one buddy in there.
Mhm.
And that's how you hold each other accountable. And the simple fact that, like, again, because we get our syllabus so early, you get to, okay, what do I have going on in my life that can I can do things ahead of time. And especially with when I had an on-call schedule, I would find myself working, like, doing homework at 3 in the morning. And I mean, I had a sporadic schedule, but again, it would be planned. So that's the only way I would be able to go around it.
Yeah. And believe it or not, the skills that we acquire during the 2 years, you actually apply it in your daily work life. I mean, I'm still using those, skills and tools that help me get through the 2 years and the 3 years in my doctorate to, so that I can not go crazy, right? Assignments are due or when we have deadlines. So, prioritizing really, really, really helped me during the course, my studies. Mhm.
All right, so the University of Miami has a far-reaching alumni network and connections to leading top government institutions. How does the online program help students leverage these connections to build a successful career, no matter where they're located?
Roxana, you want to start?
Well, I mean, I always say the proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is in the pudding, right? I mean, everyone, I mean, and I do mean this. I think that when you come out of UM, I mean, everyone's excited, you get into UM, but then when you go in and you put in the work again, it's you come out like maybe it was a like whole, and then you come out maybe as a diamond at the end, even though we're already gems
Wow.
as it is. But but UM has a beautiful way of forming you beautifully as you continue to transform with with your life and your career. um but again, like what Stephanie said earlier, you learn all the skills, different types of leadership skills, even from the classes, from like, oh, like one class of human resources. I'm like, oh, I didn't know to the extent of human resources do that. Being creative of create your own job description, and things like that that really just put your mind in, again, being very creative. And as a leader, you have to be creative. You have to adjust because times change as it goes on in career, especially working in government. It's, things are changing all the time. So you just kind of
Mhm.
have to adjust, be creative as you go, because that's just how it is. As a leader, I know UM prepares you and gives you those tools and everything that you need. Just in little, I always say, I came into UM maybe with my little pail and my little screwdriver and trying to like, okay, this is what I have. And then by the time I graduated, I felt like they gave me like a full tool set
Wow.
and a brand new tool set. And you come to find out again, you your capabilities, your skills, your abilities, there's so much more you can do, not just what you have. So hope that made sense. But yes.
It does. It makes sense. Yes, I have to add to that. Thank you, Roxana. So, once you're a UM student, you graduate, we vast everywhere. We're in every sector of the world, whether it's globally or within the United States. We will find an alum from UM, right? And we make connections through LinkedIn, social media. I'm part of, several different associations and organizations where I sit on boards, and I may have a fellow alum sitting with me right alongside of me. So I would say, going to these organizations, being part of the community, that's how you can engage and also feel connected with the UN family as well, because they're always there to give an extending hand to help you out. And we do look out for each other as alums. So that's how I found it to be beneficial in that aspect.
I mean, look at me and Stephanie. We're like this now.
I mean, I graduated in 2018 and Roxana graduated in 2023, and we've been together since prior to her graduating. So look at the connection we've made. Yeah, so it's been great.
All right, we have a question from the audience. So this person says, I came from a history and economics background, however, would like to be involved in public service and government. Do you think transitioning into this career would be difficult?
Not at all. So I'm not sure about too much about economics, but there is always something in the government sector that you can just plug in and just advance in your career. And it's a transition, right? But it will be a beneficial one because in government we need every every specialty, right? In the government sector, whether it's local, state, or federal. So you're not limiting yourself at all. Um, and you will find your space, you will find your niche in the government sector. And if you do your research, you can find, different areas that you can go into that you'll fit right into. And the public administration aspect of it gives you the background where you would need to know about finance, know about budgeting, know about SaaS, know about, uh oh my gosh, what's the other one? But the global one, NGOs, right? So
Mhm.
don't limit yourself only to Florida. Don't limit yourself only to the state, to the United States, but globally. So we can think in that outside the box when we think about our careers and which areas we want to go into. And networking, right? Once you start networking in these organizations, these associations, you kind of have an idea of where you want to go and where you can fit in and find your niche.
Yeah, and I just to piggyback off, I always believe, especially like, I mean, I graduate, my background was political science, right? Kind of far there. But like what Dr. Stephanie said, everyone belongs. Everyone does belong. And especially when you want to go into public service and government, the more diverse in like backgrounds there are, the more successful it's going to be, not just for the agency, but for the community overall, right? And especially like having a history, I mean, background in history and economics is so rich because especially when working and with government, right? Sometimes and you're thinking so forward thinking, and sometimes the history of it could get lost. And having a gem like you in it to remind and bring that knowledge onto the table is so essential, so history does not repeat itself. And economics, that's everything, especially when Dr. Stephanie said about, especially one class we had with budgeting. That was a that was a interesting course, but a great one. Learned a lot about that. But again, no matter the background, it's all useful in public service and government. So at the end of the day, we're all trying to help each other. And the skill set that you bring to the table specifically, no one else can bring that. So trust me, it's very, very good. It's on the contrary, and
And
I can tell you this. My boss even mentioned me when I was because with at the office of the attorney general, she told me that she's like, I had a lot of applications then. We have a lot of people that apply for these positions, and it's great. It's the same people, they all have the same background. She goes, but what is interesting is when we catch someone that's has like a completely different background. So
Mhm.
again, it's just the diversity. I think it's great.
Okay, thank
So
you. All right,
mhm.
so this one can go for either of the two of you as well. Were there any highlights about the program? Anything that surprised you? A favorite course? Anything you can touch on?
And Dr. Stephanie's frozen. Um, so favorite, well, I mean, I loved all of them, but like kind of going back to with budgeting.
Mhm.
It was that one was a very interesting course for me personally because you really got to understand re- what a budget looks like in your city or wherever you will like to move. Um, and just to kind of understanding just a little bit more. I mean, human resources, again, going back to that, understanding the depths of it, again, we had the opportunity to create what would be your ideal job, right? And it could be makeup, it could be made up, it could be real, it could be whatever. And creating that job description and going into depth about that. And again, just learning about different kind of leadership styles of organizational scopes of organizational management or something like that. But it, it's just a variety. I think that it touches about everything. It's not, you don't go to one class, "Oh, okay, this seems like a copy of a different class." Every class is so diverse and unique on its own that yes, things overlap, but it's never the same. Even the different ethnic courses we had to take, it's just all different.
Mhm. Dr. Thomas, did you want to say something?
yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know if I missed the question. I was logged off and had to
Okay,
log back on.
so my question was, is there anything about the program that shocked you? Did you have a favorite course? Anything like that?
Um, I don't think anything really shocked me, but I did have a couple of favorite courses. Because I was in the management arena, the budgeting and the financing I thought was very helpful because coming in as a new manager, you don't really understand, the dynamics of how a budget is put together, although you see it every year, and the budget office is the one that handles that. But when you're in the trenches of putting a budget together fiscally, it's important that you understand the numbers, you understand what the department needs, and how to assess, past budgets and how to improve it, right? So those are the two classes I found very interesting as far as my statistical classes as well. And I just love using the SAS program that helped me to, fine tune into forecasting and things like that. So those were my favorite classes. But in addition to that, the introduction to public administration was very helpful. Although I was in the public sector for so many years, I didn't really understand the core of why it wasn't so important to what public administration was. So working through that for the 7 weeks really helped me define the importance of a public servant and serving my community. And with that, I never thought I would run for office, and it inspired me to, which I did back in 2021. So um, maybe that was a shocker that I did that, but the courses definitely helped me to redefine my goals and my vision of what I wanted to be as a public servant.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So and then we're gonna wrap it up after this question. But what do you all consider to be the greatest strengths of the faculty who teach this online master's program?
The greatest strength, I believe, is the fact that they care, right? They really care about their students. Life happens, I always say that, and they were able to adjust to what I was going through at the time when I had an ill husband who unfortunately passed away. So during that time, I was able to depend on my professors to give me the time that I needed to make sure that I turned in my assignments on time, or to give me, an extension of what time I needed in order to meet whatever I needed to before the semester ended. And then when I needed to travel for my job, I was all the way in Europe, time difference, right? So they allowed me and helped me through that process as well. So when I say they really have empathy, they really do care about their students. Um, that's, you know, that goes without saying that they were very helpful in that aspect. And I will be, forever grateful for them. And then on top of my writing skills, right? They made sure that I wrote my paper accordingly, and so that I can be the best I can in my writing skills as well. So that's what I can tell you I received, leaving UM.
Yeah, same. I mean, such great, wholehearted professors. Like you can tell that they're in it for the right reasons. They don't just see you as a number or anything like that. They care about their students, genuinely care about their students. And another strength that they have, is again their experience, their wealth of knowledge. I mean, these professors, they know everyone and everything. I'm just like, oh, snap. And it's just incredible because, and you can tell, especially when they are teaching the course, when they're with the material that they provide, or the fact that the fact that the fact that they will create their own videos of them teaching it sometimes. And I'm just like, wow, the fact that they made all this time just to make sure that we had the tools to succeed, or again, the fact that, um, they're like, oh, well, based on my experience, again, they'll help you look for a job opportunity, or the fact that they'll help you expand your mind just a bit more. They're patient. They're just like, I mean, like Stephanie said, I mean, I couldn't have said it I couldn't say it best. I mean, they're amazing. And And the fact again, if it wasn't for the professors here, I don't know where I'd be, to be honest, especially one professor in particular, I mean, Dr. Beck, shout out. She was absolutely amazing. And if it was, I was going through my own personal hard time. And for me, she really did save my life, where I thought that she just, these professors, they just know, man. They just, again, even if you don't talk to them every day, you think that they care about you, even the silent ones. They'll check in on their students and don't think you go unnoticed, but they care about you and they want to know everything about your background and they just want you to share everything. They're like, don't hold back, and it's nice because not every place is like that. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
Dr. Thomas and Roxana, thank you so much for all the information that you shared this evening. So appreciated.
You're welcome.
Also, you all, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'd like to say this, as an online University of Miami student, you do get access to all the things that campus students have access to too, such as the Topple Career Center, which will help you with like your interviewing skills, resumes, things like that. Also, we do have disability services available, Launchpad, online library, and tons more. So we want to say thank you to you all too for joining us this evening. Because you did join us this evening, we do have something wonderful for you. We are offering a $300 deposit waiver for you, and we are also offering 50% off of our tuition. So you can't beat that. We do hope that you are going to join us here at the University of Miami. The early admission deadline is going to be Monday, July 8th. So to take advantage of those two incentives, you do have to have your admissions materials completed by the 8th. If you have any additional questions, please, there's the QR code at the bottom. And also our enrollment advisors can be reached at 1-800-411-2290. So again, we hope you found this information session useful, and thank you for joining us. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.